Good morning from the not so sunny Barbados. Hope everyone's okay. I thought I'd check in with you guys to see how things are after Hurricane Brett came storming through, although he's still here somewhere. We've been pretty okay, so I hope you are as well. What are we, 938 subscribers at the moment, which is greatly appreciated. Thanks for the comments in the last couple of days. Claudia's, Michelle's, Ian's, a couple of new people as well, which is nice to see. So as you guys know, I'm not checking in so much at the moment because to a certain extent the build is nearly finished. We're still doing some things which I'm going to show you in a second. But I just want to check in, make sure everything's okay, and just report in and show you how we coped with Hurricane Brett. Is he actually a hurricane? I don't think he's a hurricane really, isn't he? And on top of that, one T. He's meant to have two T's. Same as my brother. Wet and wild and comes flying through and creates devastation, don't you, bro? Anyway, pool is looking a little bit overflowed, so that will obviously be diluted down from a chlorine point of view, so that will be sorted today. Trough very high in water, so obviously that's where it's taken it and it's overflowed into there. And then down here we have a little bit of settlement as well. So as you can see, this corner here, that's our little sump there that obviously takes the water and we can jet out to the beach if we want to. Our little barbecue pit near the rocks, now a little pond. We did have a little bit of water inside the cottage, which I'll show you in a moment. We had some doors put in on this side. This was meant to be a 4-foot tilt and turn window, but we landed up because of the size going with two little doors. And I can't quite work out whether the water's driven through the doors themselves or underneath. I thought we siliconed the base down reasonably well, so I don't think it's that. I think it's actually working its way through the doors themselves. So let me quickly show you. So the doors themselves are quite small, 2 and a bit foot each. So I can't quite work out, I mean there is water in here, but it's designed to have water that comes down from the screen, drops into here and comes out of these little channels. You see that hole? So we can't quite work out whether it came through the actual joint itself in the doors, or whether it drove underneath. But anyway, it wasn't major, it came into here. I mean, you might be able to see the damp patch slightly because sometimes it changes the colour. Yeah, you can see it here, look. So the water came through here, went round this way, came here and settled just here. So this is all joined anyway, so it couldn't go through. However, it did come through this piece here. We put a separate piece in between the doors and we've not siliconed and sealed that. So it did drip through there, down onto the pipes and then into the pump room downstairs. So only a little bit of water, obviously. So other than that, we survived in here nicely. In the last couple of days, we've had cables run from over the road. We've got a camera in here, which is just for security at the moment, but obviously that will end up potentially being one that will go outside for the outside itself. Internet connected to the house over here, which is good. The downside is we had to run it through here, and we couldn't get as tight up against here as we wanted to, so we're gonna have to find a different way. I might have to chisel that out and get those cables put over, and as you can just about see them, but when we finish this off, it'll be a lot better. But yeah, we just siliconed those up the side for now. All the chairs we brought in here, obviously, because outside is pretty bad. I did actually have these, which I've shown you guys before, but I broke them, so I have to get them redone. These are by a company called Meon, or is it Moen? M-O-E-N, I think it is. But they're flood sensors, basically. So they sit, you're meant to screw that into the wall itself. That gets screwed into the wall. That fits into the back of here, like so. It sits up on a wall, and then this little cable dangles down onto the floor, and this little sensor sits on the floor itself. And as soon as it goes underwater, they alarm, which is not very loud, but obviously it connects to an app and it notifies you. So we've got one for the pump room and one for the pool pump room as well. But unfortunately, it looks like due to the lack of internet over here, they've drained these batteries. So I need to get those replaced at some stage in the next couple of days. They are US and they don't work on Bayesian apps, as I've said on the previous videos. But what you can do, which I didn't know, for your advice, you can go onto the app store that you actually have with Apple, and you can change the language and area settings. So you can actually change it to an American app store, then you can download the app and then you can convert it back, which no one tells you about. So I phoned their technical support and they said it doesn't support this region. So I found out a way of actually changing the app store, downloaded the app, and now I've got the app, which is good. They actually do a flow sensor for the mains as well, and you've seen the water issues we've had here. We've had another one since. We had another issue with another filter, so 2 filters now, housings that have just cracked down the side and then leaked out into here, which has cost me a bloody fortune in water. So if those flood sensors were working, they would have obviously sensed the water. As soon as the water started going up and the sensor went under the water, they would have made a noise here, and if I wasn't around, then the app would then text you saying you have a flood in these areas. So I need to get those sorted out at some stage, but the actual flow sensor itself goes on the mains, and what it does is it analyses your behaviour, and when it sees a behaviour that's not normal, it will text you and ask you whether you want to shut the water off, or if it's a major one, it automatically shuts the water off. So I'm going to buy one of those and install one of those, because we've had a couple of issues now, and those issues have cost me, I'm lucky enough, those issues have cost me 1,000 Bajan in lost water. However, if I wasn't around, that could have been a flooded house. So the actual flow main would literally, it just automatically, I think you can get battery ones or powered ones, they literally turn the mains off. So you put them on as the mains comes into the building prior to all the filters, and you can shut the whole mains off the whole building. So I'm definitely going to get one of those. I think they're about 500 US, and they're not cheap, but I think it's worth its weight in gold. It certainly will save me, well, it would have cost me the same than what I've lost in water so far. Let me take you over to the other side and show you the electric room. We've been working on that. In the meantime, we have had a few issues, teething problems with the air conditioning. The air conditioning in the house itself, unfortunately, out of the grills was only giving me 24 to 25 degrees. So as you can appreciate, you know, if we're 30 degrees and we're coming out at 24, 25, you're struggling to get down to 28. So they came out, Sean, bless him, good guy, him and his team came out, and they emptied and repressured and then regassed these two, and we seem to be getting 21 now, but it still seems to be a bit high for me. If we want to get down to 16, 17, 18 degrees, which, you know, won't, but if we did want to, you got no chance of doing that if you're not going to have that temperature coming out of the grills. So we're managing to get 21 out of it now, so it does mean we're getting a little bit better, but at the same time, we do need to get we do ideally need to try and get a bigger unit put in, really, to try and get that down. So let me take you in and show you the electric room. Okay, so let me show you the electric room very quickly. Different day, by the way. So if you remember rightly, in here, what we actually had was to expose pipe work down here, like this here. We've still got to do this bit at some stage in the future, but at the moment we just wanted to tie that down here. So what we've done is we've boarded in here with a wooden frame, and then plaster boarded, and obviously then put the actual corner beads on. Skimmed it, painted it. Still got to obviously do some little finishing bits. This cable's got to go into the corner with a small conduit, so I'm going to get some conduit to go up there. Yeah, again, really should come out the side if possible. But anyway, that's our fibre connection, and our connection is over to the cottage that I've been running recently. So we'll take that over to this corner over here, and then up into this corner here. So I think you'll agree, it looks a lot better. We need to find another bit of trunking and conduit. We also, on the solar side of it, had an energy meter magnetised onto here and bolted onto our network as well for the last week. So we'll see how that's panned out. That will give us an idea of how much electricity we're using for the solar. Again, like I said, I'm going to do a separate video on that. And this is actually a feed to our alarm system as well. So again, we're going to have to run that all the way along here and then drop it in a conduit all the way down here as well. So I've got to get some conduit just to make it a little bit tighter. I hate conduit, by the way. But at the same time, we're going to have to put a little bit of conduit on here to make it nice. Or do I pull it nice and tight, tack it and paint it? I'm not too sure yet. Conduit would be better, but at the same time, conduit's bloody ugly. But anyway, as you can see, it's a lot better in here now. We have lost quite a bit of space because basically all of the pipes that were actually run through the floor for all of the conduits for the main power were all over the place. So we've had to come out here. We should have been able to come out roughly about 1 inch. We've had to come out about 3 inches in total all the way around. So yeah, we've had to come out a lot more than unfortunately we should have had to. But now that it's obviously all in and painted, it doesn't look too bad. But again, if you manage how much we've lost at least 3 inches here and about 2.5 inches over there. So 5-6 inches of space, storage space that could have been put in. And we're going to put like a little skirting in here as well, just to finish that off. So, but anyway, that's one thing we've been doing. inside the house has been pretty much as is. We have finished off this corner here, needs painting, but yeah, we've had to sand this corner down now here, so that's now all finished off. And there's one thing we have noticed here, we do have on this door frame, now that we've got that window in, you can see a line on here. So where this door frame was plastered in, it wasn't plastered in flat, so again, we're gonna have to skim that in at some stage, but I've just said at the moment, I don't want any more dust. So anyway, that's where we are at the moment. Air conditioning saga still continues. We've had Sean, who's the man, he's excellent at what he does. He's come out and regassed the system, like I said on the video. It's better, but it's still not where it needs to be. But one thing we have got is a quote for separate rooms. So a mini split system for each room that sits downstairs underneath the floor, again feeds the actual floor grills. So rather than having one big central system or two central systems feeding everything, each room will have their own feeds. Again, compared to a split system, as in the white ones on the walls, it is a lot more expensive than that. It probably works out about double. So whereas you'd probably get between 2,500 and 3,000 for a split system with a white unit on the wall, you're probably talking around about 5,000, obviously, for the ones that go under. So they're quite a lot more expensive, unfortunately. But should be more efficient and certainly should be out of the way so you don't get to see them. So we're in the midst of talking to them about that at the moment. Other than that, we're pretty much today just doing some maintenance parts and putting a maintenance plan together as well. Things like windows being lubricated, windows being cleaned, etc. We're going to start building a maintenance package. But that's where we are so far. So anyway, I'll upload this and potentially do one for this week. In the meantime, don't forget, if you could give me a like and subscribe below, it really would help. I think we're at 942 today. So we have actually gone up, or 944, one of the two. So we are getting a few new subscribers, so welcome to the channel if you are new. Thanks for watching, and hit me with some questions and comments below if you can, that'd be great.